Hello and welcome to One Mommy Scrapping. I'm Scrapping Amy and I am planning for happy memories. Today I'm going to show you how I'm using these dies, cardstock, and pattern paper to create this accordion fold out page for days 3, 4, and 5 for my Journal Your Christmas album. Let's get started. As our project continues, we are actually putting together what I consider to be page 1. If you missed how I'm assembling the base for the inside cover, check out the link in the top right, which should be right there if I'm doing this correctly, and you can see how that one is. Now, some of these dies were provided to me for free from Tonic Studios. That does not affect my opinion of them because I have actually gone out and bought a whole lot more that goes along with the memory book series because I'm enjoying it so very much. Let's start off with our tab die. That is this piece right here. Obviously, I'm using a different shape. I like to do one consistent shape for my entire memory book. So that comes from this, the Decorative Clips and Tabs die set, and they have quite a variety in there. Next, I have 2 dies from their Memory Book Maker Base Creator die set. I believe this was actually the very first memory book they created. And it's a lot smaller. Like, this is the largest size that's in there, so it's very different in the look. And it is going to be all of these pattern paper with the bracket as well as the black bases for all of those brackets. Next, I have what is essentially my background layer, and that is this curved piece. It is the largest size from the Filigree Floral Layering die set. And this is, I think they call this their verso, because you can have things cut out, so basically you can change things up a lot. I've got that floral filigree that I could put in and have that in there, which I did use in some later pages in here. And I could then leave the middle solid, or I could put in the next smaller size and it would actually cut it out just as a frame. It's really, really cool how they do that kind of stuff. And then finally, we're back with the Life's Journey Keepsake Base Creator die set, and that is what made the background base page completely. Now that you know what dies cut each of these, I wanted to quickly go through a couple minor changes I'm doing. I have made these fold-out pages in the past, and I've always matched up the top and the bottom, like both sides are going to be this, both sides of this has a matching one. And actually what I think I'm going to do for this, I'm still going to do pairs for all of them, but I'm going to match them up as these 2 are the same paper, these 2 are the same paper. That will help tie together my days here and my days here. And on the back, I'm going to do matching pages here, and then I always have to, so this has 7 different pattern layers, and partner, 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 this is my only single. I think I'm going to do my only single as this one, and then day 5 with partners here. That way it kind of sets the tone, like this is almost like a title page. It gives me a spot where I can put in extra photos, extra journaling, something else that really doesn't tie to one of the Journal Your Christmas prompts. And then it does group these 2 together, so like the number might go here and this number might go over here, because then you clearly can see how they go together. The first step for this type of page is to create the tab and reinforce it. I use a pattern paper, obviously, but then I will cut out the tab again out of plain cardstock. I cut it in half and use that to just help strengthen it, because otherwise with tabs they get pulled on quite a bit and it increases the risk that it's going to rip. For these accordion type pages, I find it easiest to use a base set. When Tonic creates their base sets, they leave one side completely open. That leaves that part you see me scoring right there off to the side, and it lets you create pages that can be at a variety of depths. It helps with creating basically the covers of the book especially. So having that means, though, I don't have to attach anything to act as a hinge. Later on, I do use, I make what I call a window page, and it is with
it's not with a base set. So when it's not with a base set, then it cuts on all sides. Then you have to add in like your little hinge, and it's easy. It's not a big deal to do that. So each of these I have trimmed down a little bit. I use score tape so it sticks initially, but the liquid glue is what's going to really help it stay together after it's dried. And I'm going to do this so I have 4 of these pages. One of them will get glued down to the actual pattern paper, and then the rest are going to end up being the 3 days setup. Now, I did something, I filmed this part a couple days ago, and I cannot remember what I did, but I did something wrong with this creation, because it ends up, when I'm all done, it opens in the other direction. So if you look at my practice journal right up there, you have the tab on the left hand side, and when I'm done with this one, the tab is on the right hand side. It ends up working out well for how I decide to use it, but you know, every time I try to plan something out, I was like, really, I screwed this up. This is an easy page to create. So my base with the filigree outline, I like having the different base layers because they have different finishing touches. Like the scallop there has little dots. This square with the rounded edges has little dash lines, except they're not like dashes that go horizontally. They're vertical dashes, little tick marks, I guess you'd call them. Now, this is the important thing if you decide to use magnets. I love to include magnets in my pages. I think it gives it a really nice feel to it when you're going to lift it up and you're like, oh, you feel that gentle tug of the magnet. I just like that. But when you put them in, the very first page I created last year with magnets, I put the magnets so that they lined up, which is like, well, duh, of course you put the magnets where they lined up, except it was magnet on top of magnet on top of magnet on top of magnet. All of the magnets were in the same place for each of those pages, which meant all those magnets were in the same places. So I then got my base cardstock layer, then my layer of pattern paper, then scallop cardstock layer 1, then I have pattern paper again, and then another pattern paper, and then another cardstock, and you get a lot of thickness. So spreading them out, I'll do one in the middle, I'll do one kind of like what would be like the top corner and then the bottom corner. You still get the magnet to hold it, but you also end up not really increasing the thickness as much. Now, if you saw what I was doing there, I put down a piece of the red line tape, and I go ahead and press it down really well. I put the magnet on it, and then I put another magnet on top of that. Then I put the red line tape on top of the magnet instead of on the paper. Then when I close it, the paper hits the adhesive and picks up the magnet, and I know that they're going to be lined up. You don't have to worry about going, did I miss? Did I hit? One advice I have when you do magnets is to think ahead about the edges of things. I have put magnets, and I think I did it with the page that's coming up too. I've put magnets in before where I was like, oh, well, I forgot there was going to be a hole right there. And you can see the magnet, which is really not what I wanted. So yeah, I was like, well, you know, best laid plans and all of that. You can put these tabs in there so they're on top of the pattern paper. I do that sometimes. For this album, I do it down so it's underneath the pattern paper. I just like how that looks. I don't even know how I managed to do what I did there. I somehow, when it was running through my Gemini, I don't know how I didn't break something, but one of my dies I was making some banners with too went over and cut it out. I was like, it cut out of my on my pretty pattern layer. You gotta be kidding me. So I did go ahead though, instead of deciding, I was planning on recutting it. And I was like, no, I bet I can create something that I can cover that up with. And that's why you saw me with that little gold glitter banner. So when I get to day 3, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, is it will go there. I'll use it as a decorative element, and You know, life is good. It's all good. Same thing as before. I've got some of the score tape to go ahead and act as the initial hold, but the liquid glue is what is really going to hold it on. Now I'm playing around because I can't remember exactly how I wanted these ordered. Just a little bit of back and forth, back and forth. There we go. Finally, I'm getting some stuff actually attached. There we are. All right, we've made a decision. The liquid glue has come out. I had to do a quick check right there. These scallop pieces I cut out of a strip of 12 by 12 cards or pattern paper, so I wanted to make sure that I got them so they matched up properly. It's essentially one long strip, so it gives that continuity to it. I don't know about y'all, but I feel so weird when I create a page and the paper on, like the front of this, that red, does not have a top nor bottom, but the back does. And I always feel weird when I put it on and the back is upside down or sideways or something. It's one of those weird things. I'm like, oh, can I do it that way? Like anybody's gonna see it. But hello, that's what's in my head. So as I'm gluing these final pages on, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I'd love if you would join me here at One Mommy Scrapping. And hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, because I would love for YouTube to start recommending my pages more, so hopefully a little bit more engagement will help me with that. And leave a comment down below. Have you created an accordion page like this? Do you like interactive pages in your scrapbooks? I happen to like them, but I don't do them very much with my 12 by 12 pages because I don't like things outside of the page protector. I think that's one reason I do enjoy creating the memory books so much, is because then I get to create something that has that nice tactile feel to it. So, oh, okay, I realized what I just did too. This, I just messed up big time, and I left it in here on purpose. If you look at the edge, there's that square edge. It's at the top, whereas the rounded corners are at the bottom. I just realized I put that on completely sideways. And I was kicking myself. I could not believe that I actually put it on sideways. It's one of those things you just like, seriously there, Myers? Seriously? It took quite a bit of work, and I ended up having to recut the page and redo everything, which made me sad because that holly paper I quite liked, and I was really annoyed with myself that I wasted some of it. But you know what? In the end, it all works out. I really like how the page came out, and I can't wait to add it into my album. So I hope you guys all have a lovely day and a very Merry Christmas. Bye!